The knock on my door that morning felt like a verdict. I had been staring at my overdue bills long before sunrise, the numbers blurring, my chest tight. I already knew who was on the other side of the door. And I already knew what she was going to say. When I opened it, Mrs. Carter, my landlady, stood there with her usual calm expression, her hands folded neatly in front of her winter coat. "You owe me rent," she said softly, but firmly. No anger. No threats. Just quiet certainty. I swallowed. "I know," I said. "I just need a little more time." "I've already given you time," she replied. 3 months of it. I looked down at my socks on the cold floor. I lost my job. I'm looking. Every day. I promise. She studied me with eyes that were tired but kind. She wasn't the type to push people. She wasn't the type to raise her voice. But she was also a widow who depended on every dollar from this old building she rented out. I knew my delay was hurting her too. "We need to figure something out," she said. And then, maybe it was panic, or desperation, or something else entirely, I looked at her and asked, "What if I gave you something better?" She blinked. "Better than rent?" "Yes," I said. "A few hours. Today. Just, come with me." It was a ridiculous thing to say. I knew it. But instead of refusing, she surprised me. "Where?" she asked quietly. I grabbed my jacket. "You'll see." Chapter 1, The World Outside. We stepped out into the cold morning, the city barely waking. Cars moved slowly, breath rising in clouds. Mrs. Carter walked beside me with small cautious steps, like someone who hadn't been invited anywhere in a long time. "Where are we going?" she asked. "To the community center," I said. She raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "You'll see." She said nothing more. Maybe curiosity kept her walking. Maybe trust. Or maybe she just didn't want to go back to the lonely apartment where she spent her days knitting, watching old movies, and remembering her late husband. When we reached the community center, families were already lining up outside. Parents cradled toddlers. Elderly couples leaned on canes. Teenagers huddled in blankets. It wasn't a fancy place, just a small shelter that served hot meals twice a week. I had started volunteering there after losing my job. Not because I was a saint. Because I needed to feel useful to someone, even if it wasn't myself. Mrs. Carter looked at the crowd. Then at me. "Why are we here?" "You said I owe you rent," I said. "Let me show you why I haven't completely fallen apart." Chapter 2, A Different Kind of Payment. Inside, the kitchen buzzed with energy. Pots clattered. Steam rose. Volunteers chopped vegetables, grilled chicken, and baked trays of cornbread. I handed Mrs. Carter an apron. She hesitated. "I didn't come here to cook." "You don't have to," I said. "Just help serve." She stared at the apron for a long moment, almost like it triggered an old memory, then slowly tied it around her waist. I glanced at her and smiled. "You used to cook with your husband, didn't you?" Her eyes softened. "How did you know?" "Your apartment always smells like cinnamon and something warm. Happiness leaves marks." She didn't answer, but her lips trembled just a little. Soon, we were handing out plates, pouring juice, adding rolls to trays. I introduced her to the kids, the parents, the elderly regulars who came every week. Many of them knew me by name. Some hugged me. Some joked with me. Some asked if I'd brought my helper today. Mrs. Carter looked stunned. A thin woman with 2 small children approached us. Her smile was tired but grateful. She took the plates from Mrs. Carter and said, "Thank you, dear. You have no idea how much this helps us." Mrs. Carter froze. "Me?" she asked. Why thank me? The woman smiled. Because you cared enough to show up. And for the first time since I'd known her. Mrs. Carter blushed. Chapter 3, The Twist. Halfway through serving, a boy tugged at Mrs. Carter's sleeve. He held a piece of paper. Can you fix this? He asked. She unfolded it. It was a crumpled drawing, a house drawn in shaky lines, with smoke curling from the chimney. It got torn, he said shyly. My old house burned down. This is the only picture I had left. Mrs. Carter's eyes filled instantly. She looked at me, then back at the boy. Honey, she whispered, I can do better than fix it. She kneeled beside him. Tell me about your house. What color were the walls? Did you have a garden? A porch swing? As he spoke, she smoothed the paper against the counter and pulled out a box of colored pencils we kept for art projects. For an entire hour, she redrew the house with him, adding bright walls, flowers, a tree with apples, even a small dog in the yard. When she finished, the boy stared at it, his mouth open. That's my house, he whispered. But, happier. Mrs. Carter swallowed hard. I think your memories deserve color, she said. The boy hugged her. Fiercely. Unexpectedly. She gasped, stunned, and then slowly wrapped her arms around him. I saw the exact moment she cracked, the moment her loneliness met his need, and something inside her shifted. Chapter 4, A Moment of Realization. After the last family left, after the trays were washed and the lights dimmed, Mrs. Carter and I walked home in silence. Not awkward silence. Soft, thinking silence. She finally spoke. I haven't felt needed in a long time. You are, I said. More than you think. She nodded slowly. And you come here every week? Every week, I said. This is the only place where losing my job doesn't make me feel like a failure. You aren't a failure, she said sternly, almost motherly. You're good. The word hung in the air. We reached her building. She stopped at the doorway and looked at me, her breath forming a gentle cloud in the cold. When my husband died, she said, I felt like I lost my purpose. I kept this building because it gave me something to manage. People to look after, even if they didn't know it. Her voice broke slightly. And today, I felt alive again. I smiled. That's what I wanted to give you. Something better than rent. She shook her head. No. Not better. Just, priceless. Chapter 5, The Offer. We walked up the stairs. She stood outside my apartment door and placed a hand on my shoulder. You don't owe me rent, she said softly. I froze. What? No more rent until you're back on your feet. No interest. No deadlines. No pressure. Mrs. Carter. She raised a finger. You gave me purpose today. You reminded me that I still have something to offer this world. That's worth more than any check. I felt my throat tighten. You didn't have to do that, I said. I did, she said. Because kindness has to go somewhere. And today, you gave me a place to put it. She turned to leave, but then paused. One more thing, she added. If you're going to keep volunteering there, take me with you. I laughed, surprised. Every week? Every week, she said. Those kids need cinnamon cookies. I shook my head. They'll love you. They'd better, she said playfully. I'm very lovable, you know. I believed her. Chapter 6, The Uplifting Ending. Over the next 3 months, everything changed. Mrs. Carter became the unofficial grandmother of the community center. She brought baked goods, knitted scarves for the kids, and taught the teenagers how to fix torn clothes. People adored her. And me?